And the other big story we're tracking at this hour, the International Monetary Fund has come out with a grim warning. Even as the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos gets underway, the IMF has warned that the risks of a sharper slowdown in global growth have increased. It has warned that the biggest known risks are the one going on, which is the US-China trade war and the possibility of a no Brexit deal. The IMF has cut its world economic growth forecast for 2019 and 2020. Now, the forecast has been cut to 3.5% in 2019 and 3.6% in 2020. Now, this means that the forecast is 0.2 percentage point lower for this year and 0.1 percentage point lower for 2020 when compared to last October's predictions. Now, this is a second downgrade in 3 months. Speaking ahead of the World Economic Forum, IMF's managing director has urged policymakers to address economic vulnerabilities.
The bottom line is that after 2 years of solid expansion, the world economy is growing more slowly than expected, and risks are rising. But even as the economy continues to move ahead, as I said, it is facing significantly higher risks, some of them actually related to policy. And these risks are increasingly intertwined.
Now, the global lenders cited a bigger than expected slowdown in the world's second largest economy, China. It has also forecast the Chinese economy to expand by 6.6% in 2018, which is its slowest growth in 28 years. It has attributed this to pressure from US tariffs, warning that this could trigger huge sell-offs in the financial markets and put immense pressure on emerging markets. In fact, US President Donald Trump also tweeted about China's growth slowdown, saying that it's time for them to finalize a real deal on the trade dispute. He tweeted, and I quote, "China posts slowest economic numbers since 1990 due to US trade tensions and new policies. Makes so much sense for China to finally do a real deal and stop playing around," end quote. Now, meanwhile, IMF's downgraded also reflects signs of weakness in Europe. No Brexit deal could worsen the market turbulence in financial markets.
A no-deal Brexit is one of the major risks to our forecast. Our forecast incorporates a smooth transition, that a deal is actually made. And that there is a smooth transition to the new setup. But if there is a disruptive exit, or if there is continued uncertainty for many more months, both of those are going to weigh negatively on growth going forward. And I think it is imperative for the leaders to resolve this uncertainty immediately.
The IMF still sees the United States as among the world's strongest economies. It has maintained its US growth projections of 2.5% this year and 1.8% in 2020. Even as the world continues to slow down, the IMF has said that India's economy will pick up pace this year. It is expected to benefit from lower oil prices and ease in inflation. India's GDP is forecast to expand 7.5% in the financial year 2020 and 7.7% in financial year 2021. Now, the downgrade in global growth forecast comes at a time when the summit is already facing setbacks. Top global leaders like the US President Donald Trump and British Prime Minister Theresa May are not attending the event. Russian President Vladimir Putin, French President Emmanuel Macron and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also are absent. China will be represented by its Vice President. Now, in the meanwhile, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Spanish President Pedro Sánchez are in Davos for the summit. In fact, Wion's World is One Sumit Chaturvedi is currently in Davos. He brings us more from the summit.
The World Economic Forum 2019 in Davos this time is happening against the backdrop of many crises that have engulfed the global economies. This is perhaps why many global leaders have not come here. Well, Donald Trump is facing troubles back home as far as Mexico border wall issue is concerned. Theresa May is finally not out of the Brexit problems, and Macron is still struggling with yellow vest protests. Perhaps that's why there are problems and these people have not come here. There are problems in Venezuela's economy, and Colombia is also facing many problems. But discussions this time over here can happen. Discussions can instill confidence in global leaders that they can really wade through these problems. As far as India is concerned, this is election year, and that's why many of the ministers have not come. The Indian contingent is not as strong as it was last year. This is Sumit Chaturvedi signing off from Davos for Wion. World is One.